I've noticed a lot of people, or a lot of instances, however we want to say that word, of people saying the phrase, or flipping the phrase, I should say, Black Lives Matter into the phrase Black Matter Lives. And I have absolutely no problem with that. As a matter of fact, my use of that phrase goes back almost to the beginning of the whole Black Lives Matter movement back in 2015, 16 time period. The reason I use that phrase, I've always been the kind of person to kind of flip words into extra meanings based on phonetics or rearranging of words and phrases and whatnot. The whole concept of iMagiNation and breaking that down into magnetone just kind of reveals to some degree how my right brain works. But at the time, back in 2014, 15, I was studying or doing study, research, what have you, on dark matter and dark energy. And around that same time is when I believe Mike Brown was killed in Ferguson being right outside of St. Louis being my hometown. And during that time period, I was also, and I do this pretty frequently, but at that time particularly, I was also actively communicating with the Gede and the Barons from the Voodoo tradition. And I realized and recognized their energy around some of the rebellion that was taking place around Mike Brown and the killing of other black men, especially by the police, but also by citizens. And in studying dark matter and dark energy, you become acquainted with the concept of, and also taking into consideration the concept of artificial reality or projected reality from the mind projected outwards. You come across the concept of only being able to actually see, I think it's approximately 5% of all the reality that's really in front of us, and that the rest of what is there is made up of dark matter and dark energy and is not perceivable by the human eye, or at least not the two human eyes. And in that, I started to spend time doing prayer rituals. We had a little apartment in Overland Park, Kansas, that we moved into in 2014, and I started doing rituals, especially on the weekends. I would open with the Circle of Life, and then I would play Live and Let Die by the Beatles, you know, and then I would play some Santana. Jingo was got a lot of play for me back then, and other music. Smoke my cigars, pour libations, and whatnot, and would party with the Gede. Ironically, during some of those rituals back in 2015, I was also playing a lot of Prince's Funk and Roll, if you are familiar with that song, very funky song. But in noticing the social climate, of course, and seeing the manifestation of Black Lives Matter, I started using Black Matter Lives because I was tuned into the power of black matter and dark energy, and the energy that you can't see around you in the dimensions that are around us 24/7. With that said, I started to conceive that what you really tap into when you close your eyes and look into the darkness behind your eyelids, you can tap into that dark matter, that chaos energy that has the ability to create and manifest just about anything. They tricked most of us through the centuries into thinking that we were praying to Jesus, Allah, what have you. And what we were really doing with our eyes closed was tapping into the dark energy and the dark matter that is inside of all of us, that's part of all of us, inside and out. And in some cases, you're able to make manifest what you want to manifest with those thoughts and images, because when you close your eyes and go into that dark matter and you visualize what you want with strength and power and true magnetic power and passion, what you do is you attract that to you. But you kind of negate that sometimes when you wrap that up in the name of Jesus, which is a fictional character, although a powerful and potent thought form. We'll get into that another time. And your worries and concerns about what people will think if your prayer comes true or if it doesn't, and where you stand with the Lord and all that kind of stuff that, worries people. But I say all that to say that I see the presence of this phrase, this black matter lives, coming and bubbling to the surface of the conscious of people, and just let you all know it's been here for some time. Some of the instances in which I've seen it, I believe it was the Mike Epps movie, Meet the Blacks, this part 2 with Cat Williams. Close to the end of it, when they have a confrontation with Cat Williams in that house, that's one of the things he says is black matter lives. Also recently, I was listening to Brother Rich out of New York, Black Magic 365, I believe is the name of his YouTube channel and podcast. But he mentioned Black Matter lives as opposed to Black Lives Matter, because the politics behind Black Lives Matter, to be completely honest, a lot of us don't agree with it. It seems to negate the black man as part of the black family, which is very disrespectful, especially since you rose to prominence on the death and blood of black men. Not to take away from Sandra Bland and all the sisters that have died at the hands of police and state murders, but there have been more brothers. I hate to say it, but it is a fact. In another instance recently, in which I heard someone say that phrase, was the brother Philip Shock Matthews, and he was interviewing some brother, I don't even remember. They made a reference to Black Lives Matter. He said something along the lines of, haha brother, I don't even say that, I say black matter lives. Again, it seems like this is bubbling to the surface more and more. I don't think I can recall many instances of anybody saying this phrase except for myself prior to 2020. If I heard anybody say it in 2020, I don't remember. 2021, as I said, that's when I saw the movie with Mike Epps and Cat Williams, Meet the Blacks. So this seems to be coming to the surface. I hear there are brothers out there making t-shirts with this phrase on it now. I do plan to get into the game, as I do want to step to the front of the class. I was one of the first ones to use this phrase. I do believe I have Facebook posts dating back to 2015, 2016, in which I use this phrase. Actually, I have on a couple of shows that I used to listen to, podcasts and whatnot, I would go into the comment section and say Black Matter lives, and always somebody who would say, get that Black Lives Matter stuff out of here. This would be black folks. Get that Black Lives Matter stuff out of here. No, that's not what I'm saying, but I didn't get into arguments. I didn't correct. I just left the phrase out there as it is. I even had some brothers who were Moors who would tell me, well, you really shouldn't say Black Matter lives, you should say Dark Matter lives. I'm like, well, this is what the phrase is. It's an adaptation of the phrase of Black Lives Matter in the time where we need to recognize that Black Lives Matter, especially in America and the Western world, but also that we need to be aware that Black Matter lives. So those do play off of each other, and I'm not going to argue with whether we should use the word black, especially since most of those brothers use Black's Book of Law as a point of reference, but I'm not even gonna get into that. Anyway, I might edit that out of here anyway, and let's move on. Black Matter lives. Peace.